Hello, Repony. My name is Hawk Nightwing, the most unapologetic defender of G5 you'll ever meet, and I swear I can explain. Okay, so throughout all of existence, philosophers have posed some very important questions. What's the meaning of life? Are we alone in the universe? Did we really land on the moon? Okay, I think we can all answer that one. It's quite obvious. But not one person has posed the most important question of all. If my Tire Tale episode reviews are so good, where is the episode review 2? Since I love reviewing so much, how come I've never re-reviewed an episode? Well, you guys got what you wanted. I regret nothing. This week, we've been treated to another extraordinary miracle link from Doc Anubis. The fully animated version of episode 24 got to Trot. Yeah, it turns out this episode actually got fully animated. It was so close to being completed only for Hasbro to go, nope. Man, they're really regretting their decision to cancel the show now, huh? This all could have been avoided if you decided not to pull the plug on G5, Hasbro, but oh well. I guess you guys gotta deal with us fans leaking stuff instead. I do not feel sorry for you. And so, in the spirit of do-overs, I decided to review this episode again because I have absolutely no shame whatsoever. Now that we've finally seen what this episode looks like in fully animated form, have my opinions changed? Let's find out. I'm not even gonna bother doing an intro for this. Let's just pretend that my original review just kept going because that way we can skip the rundown and simply jump to my analysis. Alright? Sweet, roll it. So you guys might be surprised to find that some of my thoughts have actually changed this time around. I previously said that this episode was just meh and had a lot of issues, but you know what? Seeing it in a more or less finished state made me reevaluate certain aspects, and I gotta admit, I actually do kinda like this episode. Yeah, it still has its flaws like Pip winning the contest because of course she does, or the fact that the lesson could have been conveyed a lot better. But I can definitely look past those little hiccups and appreciate what is probably the most unique episode out of this entire season. First of all, there's the framing device of the episode, which I actually missed last time, and someone in my comments pointed it out. Basically, the whole episode is conveyed in the form of an internet video, with Rufus watching the competition go down on his phone. Honestly, that is a pretty unique framing device, and I think what makes it even better is that it feels authentic like a real video. There's a legit ad break from Dahlia halfway through, and that got a chuckle out of me. I hate advertisements, so I can definitely relate to Rufus getting frustrated. Having the episode just be a video playback is very clever framing, and it goes to show the extra effort put into this premise. It makes the episode stand out from its contemporaries, in that it has a setup I don't think any other episode has. I can definitely appreciate it a lot more for being very creative. Speaking of creativity, we finally get to see what the costumes look like in full animation, and they are awesome. I previously said it was a shame we never got to see what Sunny, Izzy, and Hitch's designs look like beyond simple line art, but now that we do, I gotta compliment them immensely. Once again, Tire Tale does not miss in the costume department. Between Sunny's ballerina corn getup, Mohawk Hitch, and Queen Bee Izzy, all of them look unique in their own ways. My favorite out of them still has to be Izzy's for obvious reasons. The Queen Bee getup just has that specialty to it, with a long flowing gown, butterfly wings and all, and the colors just really pop out at you. Sunny's getup too, her roller skates, ballerina skirt, and long flowing mane really is unique to her specifically. And Hitch having a mohawk getup wasn't something I thought I needed, but I'll gladly take it. Those spikes on the collar really sell the design. That's another point that comes with having the episode fully animated, in that you can appreciate the visual aesthetic of each design, something that doesn't quite lend itself as well to the original animatic art style. I also think the audio mixing is just generally better here, whereas in the animatic version, the music and sounds were a bit too loud, making it harder to hear the characters. But here, the more subdued audio mixing makes it easier for the characters to be heard. It's still not perfect, you can tell they weren't done mixing everything together, considering that what little music is there kept fading from loud to quiet, and stock sound effects like crowd cheering would just stop suddenly. But it definitely feels a bit more polished. Again, seeing a Tire Tale episode at different stages of production really clues you into how much work just goes into making one of them. Once again, the episode actually taking place in Maritime Bay is a real breath of fresh air, considering the overuse of the board Trot in the final days of the show. And having it be a main melody episode, one that puts our core trio in starring roles, makes for an interesting premise in my view, especially because it puts Pip's knack for styling in the forefront. Although I didn't like how it ended, Pip definitely needed an episode like this that really tested her skills in a game show setting, marrying both style and again, a very creative narrative hook. Plus it is just genuinely heartwarming to see this art style again. Just seeing it back in full force gave me the feels. Yeah, in case it wasn't already obvious, I love the art style of Tire Tale. The gorgeous animation just always sells everything. There's a lot told through the visuals, the seamless transitions, music, environments, look at the characters, all that, which makes for a much more fulfilling experience. And that is absolutely no different here. The animation just does so much for the overall visual presentation, in a way that simple animatics can never do. I don't know how many of these episodes got to be fully animated before the scrapping, but I'm guessing not much. Oh well, if it really is just this in episode 25 that got quote-unquote completed, I'll enjoy seeing the art style while it lasts. It just adds a lot, and there's a reason why I fought for my revival project to be done in animation. And okay, I gotta make another correction to my original review. There is absolutely a lesson conveyed throughout this episode, that I again completely missed, in which it ultimately doesn't matter whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game. I can definitely see what they were going for. Great message, but again, you gotta really look for it in the story. I think the slower pacing helps the beauty contest premise, but to convey this sort of moral, I think some conflict between Jazz, Rocky, and Pip would have done wonders to better convey that. As is, trying to put this moral in here feels a bit out of place, because none of the characters have to struggle with winning or losing. Like I said before, there's no real conflict. It's just all prepping, the toys, design showcase, what did I say, toys, and ultimately, Pip's infuriatingly predictable win. And again, I just wish there was more substance to really get that moral across. Many episodes this season conveyed their morals exceptionally well. But here, I don't know. I think it would have been better to devote more than one piece of dialogue to a lesson that doesn't feel like it fits. But all in all, I have sort of come around to this episode a bit more. It took me a little while, but watching it again in a bit more of a finished state, I can definitely appreciate what this episode was trying to be. It absolutely did not deserve to be scrapped by the Hasbro overlords, and it was done absolutely dirty by not being officially released by them. But that's what we fans are for, giving this absolutely wonderful, sometimes agonizingly inconsistent, but ultimately always lovable show the justice it deserves, by allowing the episodes that got screwed over to see the light of day, through unauthorized leaks and making our own fan content to continue the story. I'd say this episode was definitely a good one, though still not great. I did find a lot more to appreciate this time around with this fully animated cut, that ultimately bumps its score up a lot more. I do really like it now, it's definitely very unique. I just think some changes would have made it better. But what do y'all think of this episode? Feel free to let me know in the comments below. I'd like to give a special shout out to all our patrons. Thank you all for your generous donations. Your support helps us out a ton, and with that being said, this is Hawk Nightwing signing out. Hoof to heart.